Welcome back, everyone, to video number 12 in our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. So, in our previous video, we just finished our 10th and final Grand Prix of the season. Our team come home for the year in 6th place, which is not bad considering we had either the worst or next to worst car in basically every category. We had a goal of finishing 9th, so 6th is very nice, and you can see our job security is very secure right now, but I would expect that to change going forward. So you see where our team stats are. Not too bad, but we've got some things to take care of now that it is officially the off season. First thing, we've got a couple of sponsored spots that we need to fill, but if we come over and take a look at our calendar, you can see that championship promotions are right around the corner, which while we won't be promoted, it also means that the prize money will be handed out for the end of the season. Okay, so we have our email here that both cars have been repaired, although we will be preparing brand new cars for the new season very shortly. If we take a quick glance through our email, we've got retirement. Looks like one of the drivers is retiring. There's our prize money. We'll come back to that in just a second. The manager of the year. Oh, looks like it is us. So we did a good job. And they give us manager of the year. Driver of the year is from Silver Racing. And a couple of more retirements. Okay, so let's come back to our prize money and see how much we won. Oh, wow. $12.3 million. Okay, not bad at all. And more than I was expecting, quite frankly. So add that to our existing $3 million. And now we have $15.3 million to spend. So now it's time to make good on the promises from before. Now, you might say, well, okay, we could go into new buildings. Well, most of these need to be unlocked. And right now, we don't have the ability to unlock them. We have to work on either the level 2 factory or design center. So with that in mind, as much as I hate to spend $8 million on a building, when we just got this lump sum of money, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade the factory. Now, what is that going to do for us? It's going to give us additional staff to upgrade and improve our parts during the year. And also, it's going to give us additional improvement slots. So not only will we'll be able to put more staff on improving parts, but we'll be able to add more parts to the queue. And then you can also see the list of other facilities that will be unlocked, such as telemetry, test track, brakes, tour center, and the helipad. Okay, so it's going to take 20 minutes for this to be done, so it will definitely not be done by our first race. So, as much as it pains me, we just got this money. Now we're going to turn around and invest, not spend, but invest $8 million. So they're going to go ahead and get started on the upgrades there. And you can see there's more upgrades to come in the future. It's not like you upgrade the factory one time and then you're done with it. So with that out of the way, let's come back in and see what we've got. So promotions have happened or are happening. And what happens is the very top finishing team from our division, the European Racing Series, will move up to the Asia Pacific Series, and the bottom finishing car from the Asia Pacific will move down to the European. Okay, so now the new rules are in effect, and you can see here that we're replacing one of the Milan GPs. At least I hope it's only one of them, because you remember we went there twice, and that's going to be replaced with Beijing. And then also we're going to spec suspension, so we won't be able to do anything other than work on reliability of that particular part. All right, here are your promotions. These don't really affect us, but you can see that a team from European Racing Series has now been promoted to the Tier 2 Series, while the bottom finishing Ruiz Motorsport will be dropped down to European. So that's how that all shakes out. Looks like we've got a note here from a sponsor offer. Only one offer available, so I guess that makes it pretty easy for us to decide. And they want us to finish 4th or above, which is going to be very difficult for a long time, because I think we're going to be basically starting all over with our car here pretty soon. All right, so upfront payment, nothing, but they'll give us $900 grand to finish 4th or above. Not exactly a great offer, but it's the only one we have. So now we'll just wait on slot 1 to receive some offers as well. Okay, we'll be able to watch our slider down here at the bottom for the HQ as we move from 20 weeks to further that in time as it gets closer to completion. Let's go ahead and move forward. Okay, you can see preseason starts here for the European Grand Prix, which is the Tier 3 series that we are a part of. Okay, so let's take a look and see what they've got in store for us here. Okay, and looks like we got an auto save in there. It's trying to help me out. All right, so let's see. We need to get going on the 2017 chassis. I agree. Just give us the word and we'll get started. All right, so it's time to design next year's car. So this means that we're going to get an influx of $7 million. Now, if you're wondering where did this money come from, well, at each race during the year one, we set aside a certain amount of money for next season. And in our case, we set aside 700,000 times 10 gives you your 7 million. So now we have 7 million to spend on next year's car. Okay, so temporarily, our balance looks a whole lot better, but keep that number in mind, 7 million. So now what we have to do is pick out our suppliers: engine, fuel, materials, and brake supplier. And already it looks like we're going to be a lot worse off than we were last season. And you can see the different costs associated with each one. Now, as much as it might seem like a good idea to just jump in here and buy the most expensive one and everything and use our money that way, I'm not convinced that our car is still going to be very good this year. So what I'm focusing on really for this year, we already have good staff, although there's some room for improvement there as well. But what I'm really focused on is our HQ. I want to focus on that as a big focus. So I'm going to choose, let's see, you see down here at the bottom, fuel efficiency and improvability, and the number of stars we get there. Okay, so actually option number 2 here looks like the better option for our engines. Okay, so we'll go ahead and continue there. On to the fuel. So, wow, everything is just weak, and weak. just not a whole lot of good to see here. Okay, so in fuel efficiency, improvability is pretty good. Let's see, improvability is important to me because this gives our staff an opportunity to work on it during the season. Okay, let's move on to materials. And let's see, weak again, but very weak on the other two. I like that. Although tire wear is improved, not a lot though. Okay, I'm going to stick here for that as well. And boy, there's just not a lot of options here. Our car, no matter what we do, is just going to be very weak. So I'm not particularly thrilled about any of these options, but I'm going to stick here. All right, so the total cost is 9.5 million, more than the 7 million we had set aside. Not thrilled about that, but basically what more can I do about that? Not a whole lot. We need to get what we can, and improvability is a big key for me. So we're going to go ahead and confirm that and spend that money. Now we're down to 4.8 million. Okay, and our chassis work will go ahead and begin, and it's expected to be done by March 5th, which would be just in time for the preseason testing. Also notice that we've got some sponsorship offers here. We've got 3 offers. Let's take a look. So we've got, oh, wow, that looks familiar. That Play Sport Games sponsorship looks familiar. And let's see, they want us to finish 7th, 10th, or 10th. All right, I'm not convinced we can finish 7th right now, but who knows? We shall see. All right, right here, the difference between these two, while Japan gives us a 3 times bonus, which would be really nice, there's no upfront payment versus 800,000, 400 per race. I'm going to go here because I think we got a much better chance of finishing 10th than 7th. All right, and it's only good for 4 races, which means that if we can do good, we might get even better than that. So they're going to give us our 800,000 up front. Now that puts us at 5.6 million. Okay, so far so good. And let's see what's on the docket going forward. Okay, now we've got more messages. Let's see, more news stories. I'm not going to worry too much about that. Tire simulations. Let's see what they've got for us. some early simulations of the new car, and there's gains to be made in tire wear. All right, one of our manufacturers is happy to help us out, but it costs a whole bunch of money. Yikes, that is indeed a lot. I'm thinking I don't want to do that. As much as I want to improve tire wear, I'm just not convinced that it's worth our 1.5 million, so I'm going to turn that down. Okay, now if we were doing much better, if we had a much better car, then I might be more apt to give them money. But as it is right now, I don't see that 1.5 million being spent very well on doing that. I'd rather spend that on improving our parts or our staff or building another, addition to our HQ or something along those lines. Okay, here we go. This is something I was waiting on and I almost forgotten about it. This is our development or reserve driver, and their contract has ended. So what I'm interested in seeing is, since I never really found a use for them, we come over to drivers and we see, okay, that's going to save us some money because now it's put in sort of a default reserve driver that's only going to cost us $1,000 per race. I really like that. We were paying, seems like about 52, 53,000 per race for our reserve driver before. So a nice gain of 50,000 there. I'll take it. And back to our car here. Again, you can see that these progress bars will fill up as time passes and we get closer to completion. All right, things are going on. Let's go ahead and pause because I saw several messages pop up. All right, looks like we got different things being opened up, staff centers and simulators and so on. Okay, so not bad. Looks like our car is nearing halfway done. And now we are into January, and now we click over to February. So we're getting closer to preseason testing. All right, let's see what kind of emails we got. Again, nothing I'm going to be too terribly worried about. All this staff movement and potential availability of new designers or any type of staff, I'll be more interested in as we move up through the ranks. But for right now, our staff is pretty good. All right, we've got another dilemma here. It looks like our fuel supplier has contacted us. And let's see. They made a breakthrough in fuel efficiency, which I would definitely like to have. And they're happy to use it, let us use it for the car this season, but they want more money. Now, fuel efficiency is one thing that we do need, but I'm not going to spend the money on it right now because I'm not convinced it's worth just the +1. Maybe it is, but I'm going to spend my money elsewhere and prepare for the future rather than take a chance on that 1.5 million being well spent. I'm not convinced it is. Okay, next thing up is we have an opportunity now to edit our car. Oh, looks like Ariel, who we let go last year, has been snatched up by a new team. Good for her. Wasn't anything personal against her. We just needed a better driver. Okay, so edit our car livery. So we get to change the colors on the car if we want to. Now, I don't particularly want to. You can see, we're pretty much locked into various shades of blue, even getting into maybe a purple there if you want to. And we can flip back and forth and see which one we like better. Let's see, there are several of these. I'm not particularly worried about it because, for one thing, when you're on track, you really can't see your car up close. I really wish they would let you zoom in more on the car, but they don't. So it doesn't really mean a whole lot to me. Let's see if any of these sort of stand out for me. Not really. I don't really see too much that's going on. Let's go back and let's go ahead with, I guess I'll just stick with number 4 here because it doesn't really matter too much to me, but it does give you the opportunity to do it. And you can see that it's free of charge here. We could change it during the season, but it'll cost us, I believe, $1.5 million, $500,000 to do that. All right, are we finished? Yes, we are. And so now that must mean something important is coming up because we've got a loading screen. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we're almost done with our new chassis. We're 83%, and you can see this is not going to be good, but our best option here is the improvability, which I'm counting on, quite frankly. And our HQ is about halfway done, it appears. All right, let's keep going forward and see what we've got. Oh, we got some newspaper rumors. I hope that's not about us. And let's see. Preseason testing is coming up. Okay, so we're almost ready for that. And newspaper rumors. Okay, so apparently they've heard rumors that we're thinking of getting rid of Sergio here. Wow, that's interesting because we didn't have anything to do with that. So his morale really tanks based on that. And it's going to stay that way for 8 more weeks. So that will take us through at least the first race and possibly the second as well. So that's one of those random events that the game is throwing at us that's not going to help anything that we're doing right now. All right, so now with that out of the way, it is time for preseason testing. Now, the way they do it in this game is interesting. So we're going to go ahead and click on it and start the testing. We don't actually go to the track. We don't actually see the cars like we would in a practice or a race session. We simply get this, time on track. And you can see as we head toward the finish, let's try to find our drivers, which are, let's see, so far I'm looking for any comments. All right, they're overheating. And where is our second driver? Oh, he's up here. All right, so we got overheating and then no comment from our other drivers. So not a whole lot of feedback there, really. Okay, so we've got morale increase a little bit here for Sergio, but no change there for Rodriguez. Okay, so with that out of the way, we'll see what's up next for our off season as we get closer and closer to being ready for the new season. You can see here the Black Sea GP, which is the first race of our season, is up for 11 days. Okay, and let's see what we've got going on here. We've got a few more emails, and it looks like it's time to set our targets for this season. All right, and not only will this affect how happy our chairman is with us throughout the year, but it will affect how much money we get. You can see 1.4 million, 1.76, and 2.1. I am going to set a goal of 6th. I'm hoping to finish higher than that, but I'd really like to, I don't want to get fired. So let's go with 6th. I think we can finish 4th, but let's go with that. So we'll get 1.76 million per race to spend. So hopefully that's enough based on the increased costs that are associated with an HQ and so on. All right, thanks for joining me on this. That will conclude basically our preseason. As you can tell, we are getting very close to our first race of the season, which is 11 days away now. And so we'll come back in our next video and get started with a new season. Thanks for joining me for this video in our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager.